Hello, Professor Gallo. So I'm responding to question 1. So I'll start at the beginning. What do you notice about students as you observe your cooperating teacher? Um, Something I noticed a lot was they're a really good group of kids. They don't have nearly as much attitude as I thought they would, which is good because I was a little bit nervous about that. Um, they generally respond to Miss Laskowitz. The only thing that they have a problem with is keeping attention, which I think makes sense at that age. A lot of them can only focus for so long, and that's why we were always taught to do, with the younger kids, you kind of have to keep the lesson pretty fast paced. If you do one thing for too long, they're not going to pay attention and you're really not going to, get much done. So switching up the lesson a lot is important. I think they'll respond well to instruction, generally, as I've seen. There are a lot of classroom management techniques that Miss Laskowitz uses. She has she has something she calls traffic. So when the students are getting up, she uses it for her 3rd through 5th grade students. When the students are going up to get their folders and their instruments, whatever they may be, whether it be a shaker or bell, or she has little xylophones in a case, they have traffic, which is she'll call them one row at a time, to go in one direction to get their folders, then their instrument, and back around the other way, instead of just like going straight to it and turning around. And the idea behind that is that you don't want to hit someone else during traffic, and that causes an accident, which I thought was very smart. She also has something that I think that it was either you or Dr. Morrow has, which is it's a little chime suspended above a wooden block that kind of serves as like a holder and kind of a resonating chamber-ish that you just hit with a mallet, and that makes a ringing sound that she hits, and they know to be quiet. So like once they hear that, they're supposed to stop, and she'll hit it, wait for about 10 seconds. If they don't stop, she'll hit it again, and they do within 3 hits at the most is that I've ever seen. They will be quiet, which is really good. In terms of other classroom management, she has always, no matter what they do with instruments, there's always a rest position and a play position, which is really important. And the rest position usually involves no touching the instrument, no touching the mallets, whatever that may be. I think, for me, what I think would be most challenging, moving on to the next part of the question, in seeing these students and thinking about teaching them, is just confidence. I usually feel very confident in front of kids, but confidence in knowing what to do when it comes to disciplining. I watch Miss Laskowitz, and she seems so... It comes to her very easily, telling them to stop and like having someone sit out. She doesn't take any like sass from them. To me, it almost seems like harsh. Like I feel like it really stops the lesson and creates a negative energy. Not that she's doing anything wrong at all, because she's not, but it's just a very no-nonsense way of going about it. Yet she can still have fun. And so I don't know where the line is between what is too abrupt of like a disruption to have a kid go sit out. When do you know to, like, when can you solve a problem by just standing in the proximity of a child? Or like, when do you know that they need their own time and space? When should you, really reprimand them? And when, something that she does a lot is she'll tell the class to be quiet. When do you know when it's just like idle chatter that is okay and perhaps acceptable? And when is it too much? She seems to navigate that well, and I can't yet distinguish when those times are. So I don't want to come off as too lax in letting them talk, but I also don't want to have the expectation that none of them will ever speak while I'm speaking. So I think that's the biggest thing. Disciplining is something I'm a little bit nervous about, especially since they're not my kids, really. I mean, they will be, but they're not and I'm a new teacher, I don't think they would ever take advantage of me, but I think I could underplay what I need to as a disciplinary, you know, figure in the classroom. But what I do feel most confident about is I think I have a very good way with kids, and I can speak to them in a way that's both engaging and they get excited about. I have always been able to respond well to how kids act to kind of get them more excited or make them calm down without them, I don't know, freaking out. But also just my ideas are different. I'm very confident that the stuff that I bring in, for the most part, is not going to be stuff that Miss Laskowitz does all the time. So it's just, bringing in new stuff. Also, on the flip side, I feel like confidence is something that my confidence is also something that I feel confident about as a new teacher. It's both something I'm worried about in terms of disciplinary measures, but I'm also confident in my confidence and ease in front of kids, just my general personality, teaching personality that I've developed so far. I used to be really nervous, but now I feel very comfortable in front of kids. It's not like I stutter or like freak out or get sweaty. Like, yeah, you'll always be a little nervous that like maybe this lesson won't go really well, but I feel at ease being around kids. I'm not freaked out, so that's good. I kind of worried about that. Yeah, just in general, observing is good because I get to see where she's at with these kids and what she does. It's not a way that I've seen a teacher teach before, in that all of the other teachers that I saw in praxis, which was 2 other teachers, use solfege, and she doesn't do that. So it's interesting going a more rhythmic centric route in just like teaching the kids notation and rhythm way before you touch upon tonality. And I know that's a normal thing to do, that some people address rhythm and then like play instruments. It's kind of more of, I guess it's more of an Orff way of going, playing instruments and singing, but just by rote, without really addressing like change in pitch that much. So I'm excited. I mean, it should be a good time. I start teaching on Monday. So far this observation time has been really good. I think I've learned a lot from her, and she's given me some good ideas for future lessons. So that's good. And that's about it. And I'll see you on Wednesday.